Okay, so team, good morning everyone, and I welcome you all for today's session, Securing Microsoft 365 Copilot, Compliance and Data Governance. So team, as an organization that is rapidly growing nowadays, right? And they are adopting AI like tool, for example, M365 Copilot. And the conversion is no longer just about what Copilot can do. It's about how securely and responsibly it does it. So today's session focus on trust, data protection and governance because AI is not only as secure as data and control behind it. So team, in this session we are going to explore how M365 Copilot is secured by design and how it works seamlessly with Microsoft compliance and data governance framework. Team, my name is Komal Sharma. I'm the instructor of the session. I'm having more than 17 year of experience as a trainer and software consultant. I'm Microsoft certified trainer and having all expert level of certification for Microsoft 365 services, Microsoft security solutions and power platform. And I'm working with Copilot from last 2 years. It's like more than 2 years now. And I have provided session on to different organization. And I have made them understand what is this Copilot, how they can adopt Copilot, and how as an end user you can use Copilot. Not just limited to this, not is very important for everyone to know that how securely we can start working with Copilot. And is there any behind the scenes some security mechanism that already works? So team, all we are going to focus today. So we will cover how Copilot respect identity, permissions and access control, the role of Microsoft Purview in data protection, how sensitive labels like DLP, retention labels, these influence Copilot responses, and governance best practices to avoid any data sharing, and common security myth versus reality around Copilot. The goal is to help you confidently answer this question like how do we work with Copilot while keeping our data secure, compliant, and governed. So this session is especially relevant to IT admin, security teams, compliance users, and business decisions users. So team, let's first start with the understanding of security model of Microsoft 365. The core principle of M365 Copilot, data access and privacy control, threat protection, and compliance integration. Microsoft 365 Copilot security model, it is grounded in principles such as zero trust, least privilege, and strong authentication. So team, may I know how many of you are from security background? Can you please just raise your hand if you are done with any security fundamental or any security related certification? Okay, that's great. So team, can you please let me know what is zero trust? Anyone? You can type your answer in chat. What do you mean by zero trust? Yes, anyone? Can you quickly type? Do not trust anything. Very good, Himanshu. You are correct. Never trust, always verify. So yes, this answer was better. Zero trust means not allowing any equipment. Okay. So team, zero trust, Microsoft zero trust model that says that do not trust anyone. Okay. So let's say if we are not going to trust anyone, how we are going to work with each other? So this model says do not trust but verify. You need to verify everyone. Like if I'm sharing my information with someone is asking for some file or some information, without trusting, without verifying, how I can share my information. Okay. Now as a user, how you can verify who you are? Because when we join our organization, as our physical identity is created. You have given some identity card. Okay, you are registered. Similarly, a digital identity is created. Your digital identity is maintained in identity and access management platform. In Microsoft, we have Entra, where all users' identity is created so that they can prove that yes, I am Komal Sharma, I am Samir Ahuja. Correct. So we can prove who we are. Just like we are living in India country. So we have an identity provided by our country, right? That we can use to prove that yes, I am citizen of India. Just like that here, when you are in this digital world, now everything is on cloud. The zero trust model says that you please carry your identity and prove who you are. How you can prove? By validating that yes, I'm an authorized user. I can enter I know I know the password, right? Or I can complete the proper authentication process. And now I'm eligible or I'm authorized to access the information. So this was verification. Then least privilege approach. Least privilege approach that says that okay, that your authentication is done, but you should be given only that permission you are allowed for. Okay. For example, you are from marketing department, you should be given that access to marketing resources, not for finance department. Okay. Or let's say you are working with some project, so you can access only project related right information, view information. Let's say you are only visitors, so you can only have view permission. So that is least privilege approach. And a strong authentication. So these are the authentication methods that ensure that only authorized user can have the access of sensitive data. For example, multi-factor authentication. With your password, you need to enter one passcode that you may receive via email or mobile number. Or you can use authenticator app. Okay. This is what Microsoft core principle. Now looking into data access and privacy control. Copilot leverage Microsoft 365 enterprise grade access and privacy control. So Microsoft apply enterprise EDP, that is enterprise data protection, that is applied to entire M365 environment. For example, you are working with OneDrive. You are keeping all your stuff there. SharePoint, that is a shared drive. Outlook, to manage your emails. We trust on these services that none of my emails will be leaked. None of my files will be leaked, or any unauthorized person cannot access this information, right? We trust on it. Just like that, Copilot. When we are working with Copilot, all our conversations are totally secure, are totally private, totally safe, right? So Microsoft applied ADP on Copilot, and Copilot work in Microsoft's strong security environment. So whatever the security setup is already done, you are setting up any policies, any compliance policy, Copilot adhere that. Copilot strictly follow these policy and protect users' data, information, and users' access. And managing Copilot related activity or any other permissions or any other responsibility you have in the organization to control and to manage that. Here you have role-based access control. You will be given permission to complete the task you are authorized for, you are responsible for. But again, make sure that sensitive informations are there in this secure environment. And to monitor, keep an eye what is going on, how well it is going on. To track and manage, you can audit the log. For example, let's say there are some agents that are being used, that is being created. How many users who have adopted M365 Copilot? How many users are there who are adopting this Copilot, right? Users who are assigned a license for Copilot, that all can be monitored and can be audited. Threat protection and compliance integration means Microsoft continuously monitor for attacks, enforce security and compliance rule, and detect unusual activity early. Advanced threat protection stop phishing, malware, and identity attack in real time. Compliance features ensure data follows regulatory and internal security policies. And anomaly detection, it identifies suspicious or any unusual behavior before a breach happens. For example, a user who is using Copilot and having the conversation and he's trying to ask some information that is sensitive and will ask Copilot to summarize that information or any file where some sensitive label is applied, right? So Copilot will immediately take care of that or maybe restrict user to run that prompt and cannot process that prompt, right? It means that Copilot always look for the suspicious behavior, suspicious activity so that it can be cured before actually breach happens. So result, secure data, compliance operations, and early threat prevention across M365 and Copilot environment. So team, I hope M365 security model was clear to everyone. So team, as a admin, when your organization plan for Copilot adoption, your journey start with the implementation. Okay, so you implement M365 Copilot and make it available for all the users. So team, your organization have to be get ready for M365 Copilot. So these are some prerequisite. Okay, for example, user must be assigned M365 license. They must be having active OneDrive account. They must be having access to OneDrive, right? And make sure all applications like Outlook, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, then Teams, they all are updated. Because I have taken multiple test sessions and user come up and say that Komal, I'm not able to see Copilot icon in my Teams or Outlook. Why? Because we have the license. So the reason is that they do not have the updated application downloaded. Okay, so make sure you have Teams desktop applications, you have Outlook desktop application that is updated. You can access Outlook or you can access Copilot both on web applications and desktop application. So make sure user is allowed to access both in web applications and in desktop mode. Okay, make sure all the users are active users in Entra. Okay, and all the users are able to authenticate using Microsoft Entra ID. Especially in the case when you have the hybrid environment. Okay, users are set up on premises and cloud. So make sure user are able to authenticate from Entra. Okay, so these are some best practices to launch M365 Copilot. So when you are starting and planning with Copilot, do not apply it to all the users in one go. Make a pilot group. They are called adopters. So assign license to them and then monitor how they are accessed, what is their feedback, are they comfortable in this new tool, and what is the benefit they are getting. Okay, so keep a feedback mechanism. Once the feedback is collected, then you can have a look how they can improve the usage of, or if there is any feedback, how they can come on it, like respond to it. Provide a proper training to all the users so that it would be easy for them to adopt Copilot and use it effectively. Copilot M365 permission model. It ensures that right person is having right access for the right resources. Copilot never ever give you any information or can never help you with the information you are not authorized for. Okay, so only the information, the files you can view, you can edit, you can write, only for that Copilot can help. For example, your colleague has shared you one file, you are only allowed to view that, but you are asking Copilot to make the changes. No, Copilot cannot help you because you do not have edit access in this document. Okay. Now, when you are starting with Copilot, you need to implement SharePoint Advanced Management tool. SharePoint Advanced Management, it provide a governance layer. Microsoft recommends it to enable before Copilot adoption, that reduce oversharing and clean up content is ensure trustworthy AI response and control what Copilot can discover and reason over. Okay. Now, when you are working with data preparation, it matters a lot for M365 Copilot search. You might have observed when you are using Copilot, there is a search tool, a very strong search tool that is available and help you to search any information, any file available in your environment. So why this data preparation matters a lot? Because Microsoft 365 Copilot, it relies on Microsoft Search and Microsoft Graph to retrieve its data. As a user, pick my marker. Let's say as a user, you start your device, you start using your mobile or any device and connect with Copilot. Okay, so here you have started using Copilot via M365 application, that may be Teams, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. So as a user, you connect with M365 Copilot via these application, you get the icon over there. But behind the scene, Copilot, it consult to Microsoft Graph. That is the best buddy of Copilot. It says, hey, Microsoft Graph, do you have the related information this user is asking for? So Microsoft Graph search for the information. It's like a connective tissues that connect user related emails, user he is connected to, all the team's conversation, all the files which is there in OneDrive, SharePoint, and provide the related information. Now, Copilot rely on this information collected from Microsoft Graph and search and then refine it as per user question, whether he is going to summarize, he is going to use this content to prepare a new content or another content. So content that is like content the user already has permission to, Copilot works in the same. It does not search everything blindly. It only reasons over content that is searchable, content that is well structured, recent, and searchable. Signals like metadata, labels, site structure, usage, right? So if your data is overshared, right? It is poorly structured or unlabeled, Copilot search result will be noisy, will be incomplete, potentially risky, and less trustworthy. Copilot Search use Microsoft Search Index for SharePoint online sites and pages, OneDrive files, Teams, Outlook emails, and calendars, and including M365 applications. So, as a admin, Do not rely on blocking search globally. This harms Copilot relevance. Instead, ensure important sites are not excluded from the search. Avoid search of as a governance workaround. Use restricted content discoverability wherever it is needed. There are different security tools, so you can protect M365 Copilot data, right, with the help of these tools. Like you have Microsoft Graph Connector. These are the Microsoft tools for securing your data. Microsoft Purview information protection, where you can first look for the information that is really need protection and that is very sensitive, marking that information as a sensitive kind of a classification of your data, and then taking action, applying DLP policies that make sure that data is not shared with any unauthorized user. And these are some best practices to prevent oversharing. Okay. For example, when you are sharing any documents from your OneDrive, always make sure that the option everyone in the organization or everyone outside organization is never ever shared. It should be shared with only required users. Or let's say SharePoint site, it should not be welcoming all the users outside the organization, or inside the organization should be limited to the limited users. Okay, that will make sure your data is not overshared. There are some search tool that will confirm that whether your data is overshared or not, and will help you to make sure that data is still there in the boundary of for the users who are able to access it, or the authorized users in the organization. Once all the things are set up, you are good to move ahead and assign licenses to M365 users. Okay. Now in Azure portal, you can go to Entra. You will find the list of users you can assign the license for. As a best practice, you can assign the license to the entire group and make it group based licenses, not assign the license to any individual users. In future, if you need to take that license back from the user, you just have to remove the user from the group. That's it. All the permission will be automatically removed. M365 license is an add M365 Copilot license is an add-on license. So you must be having M365 E3, E5, Business Standard, Business Premium, or a school account A3 or A5. Then only you are eligible for Copilot paid license or Copilot add-on license. Many of you have already observed Copilot icon in your workspace, though it's not a paid one, but Microsoft gives you Copilot capability as a complimentary. Okay, that comes with with some basic capability. Okay, and you have Copilot environment ready, Copilot setup, but that is available only in M365 environment, all the applications. So you have an option to extend Copilot capability apart from M365 environment. Use it for your applications, your automated flows, your non-Microsoft environment, or for your on-prem environment. So you can extend M365 Copilot. So basically, developer can extend M365 Copilot, and they can do so by developing agents. These agents are provided knowledge base, skills, that is provided some instructions, how they are supposed to talk to the end users, how they are supposed to behave, what are the tasks they can complete, and admins can set up related connectors, right? For example, you are trying to connect with Azure services, another cloud services. So there are different connectors that can be used, not limited to M365, but also ServiceNow, Salesforce, any intranet websites. Okay, so you can extend M365 Copilot capability outside M365 environment. This is M365 Copilot adoption. So you start with the first phase, that is get ready phase. You prepare your organization for AI by setting up security, data access, and governance foundation. Second phase is onboarding and engaging, where you adopt M365 Copilot by assigning licenses, building habits, providing training, identifying early adopters, champions, training users, right? Third phase is for delivering the impact, means looking into the Copilot usage, business value, ROI, review progress, and celebrate your wins. And finally, the last phase, extend and optimize. You can customize Copilot as per your business need. The previous point I have just explained, extending Copilot capability, right? Where you can create, build custom Copilot agents and use it as per your business requirement. So, team, this was the first module of the session. Now, let me just take you to my Entra, and here I will quickly show you how to assign the license. So, team, of course, I'm not like admin who have Copilot license. So, but I can surely show you how you can assign the license, like using other license in my environment. You can replace this license with Copilot license. So I'm going to show you just how to assign the license to the group. Team, by the time if you have any query, any question, please type in chat box. Please feel free to ask any question. Okay, so team, you can assign the license from Microsoft 365 Admin Center. You must be having a specific role to assign. Let's say if you are a privilege identity administrator or you are user administrators, you are admin, global admin, so you can assign and manage the license. Under billing, click on licenses. So once your organization purchase the license, that will be listed here. For example, I have Copilot Studio license. I can see the available license, select. You can have a look, the users already are assigned these licenses. Okay. So you can see 4 users are there. Out of 4, 3 users are assigned this license directly. And one I have assigned it to Copilot group. Okay. So the best practice is that you first create a group. Like I have already created Copilot test user group. Okay. Once your group is ready, add the users in the group and assign the license. Okay. For example, I will click on assign license, search for the name, or let's say these are the users in my organization, and here is a group. Let's say I'm going to assign it to other users, for example, M365. Okay, I have easy M365 group who are already assigned M365 license and click on assign license. So your license are being assigned. And here you will notice the group is listed here. Now come back. It says that 5 licenses are now assigned. Okay, so this is how you can assign the license and manage it here. For example, I need to remove a user from this group because I do not want to assign the license to him. So you do not need to manage the users individually. Just find out the group you are looking. Let's say it's just a Copilot, Copilot test user. Select the members. So I can see there are three members uh, who are added to my group. I want Alex should be removed from this group because I do not need to want to assign Copilot license. So view and okay, sorry. Select view all and manage members. Select Alex and remove member. So I have removed Alex from this group. Now automatically the Copilot license is taken back from the Alex. So this is the best way to manage licenses and assign licenses to the users. Okay, so team, now let's move ahead. In our next module, we will focus on how we can manage secure user access in M365 environment. M365 uses identity and access management to make sure only right people can access the right data. These tools works together to keep users secure while making access easy. Microsoft Entra ID that acts as the digital identity system for all your users. Here you can create, you can manage user account. You have observed, I have opened admin center where I was able to view the users, view the group. I can also create group and create users, but Entra is dedicated to identity and user management. Okay, it support multi-factor authentication and security policies and ensure only authorized users can sign into Microsoft 365 services. Now coming to Admin Center, Microsoft 365 Admin Center, that is a central web portal for admins that is used to manage users, group, licenses, roles, security, and access related setting. Admin Center integrate with Entra ID for authentication and access control. Single sign-on, this allow users to sign in once and access multiple Microsoft 365 application. Let's say I have opened my browser and here I have just logged in to Admin Center. But let's say if I have to open another application, let's say Outlook. I have completed my sign-in process once. Now I do not need to repeat it again and again for every other applications. So I'm already logged in. I can open any of the application that is called single sign on that improve user experience and also maintain security. So as a user, I do not need to re-enter my password for each application. That is single sign on. Next is Microsoft Graph PowerShell. This is an command line tool for admins and developer. It is used to automate and manage the tasks that are hard or impossible using Admin Center. It works like Microsoft Graphs to manage users, or you can apply bulk operation, managing users in bulk, adding users, or changing their groups, devices, working with policies, permissions. So, all you can manage that is very hard, time taking from admin center, better to do it in PowerShell just with one single command. Next, you have Microsoft Graph API, a web API that provide access to M365 data. It enables developer to create applications that interact with users, emails, files, teams, and more. So use a single API to connect data across M365 services. So Microsoft Identity Tool, it ensures secure sign-in, control access, control management of users and data across M365. Okay. Now, when users start accessing any service and work in your M365 environment, they are assigned Copilot license. So it is very important to make sure that user passwords are safe because this is a very easy entry point for attackers, right? Now, how you can manage the password? By setting up the password policies. Make sure the password is expired after a particular time period. User cannot continue the same password for long time for 4 years, 5 years. So this password expiration policy will restrict users to choose a weak password or any predictable password. Or maybe you can set up after 1 year, after 6 months, you need to change the password. Admins can also reset the password or let's enable SSPR. SSPR is self-service password reset feature that help user to reset their own password. They do not need to approach to IT help desk team. And if they forget their password or they need to change the password, they can use SSPR features. And you have Entra password protection that block globally banned password or custom ban password list. Okay. You can also set a password lockout means after 3 unsuccessful attempt 10 successful attempt whatever you set account will be locked for a particular duration. Now when user sign in or user is assigned license, let's say you have 10 users, team of 10 users, and they are assigned Copilot license. It is very important to make sure that these identities are secure, not just using the password, but there should be another way of authentication to make sure this access is provided is secure. Or you wanted to control that user can access M365 Copilot from their office machine only, not from the personal device. So that all you can control with the help of condition access policy, where you can put the condition, who are the user in the scope. Let's say I have 10 user in my team. I can put these 10 users in my scope. I will enable MFA for these users and I will restrict them to use Copilot from any Android devices or from any iOS devices. So make sure the device is totally compliant. Someone has raised the hand. May I know what is the question? Any issue you have? Okay, so team, I'm sorry, but you are not allowed to unmute yourself. If you have any query, any question, please type it here. Ranveer is asking how many time trial period. Ranveer, I couldn't get your question. Are you asking about the trial for Copilot? Or you are asking about the Copilot Studio trial license that I have? Okay, Copilot Studio trial license. This one? Okay, so Ranveer, I have set up one trial account because I am a MCT. So MCTs are provided this developer account, M365 developer account. We use this account for try out the new feature, upcoming feature, provide the training in a that looks a real environment. So I have added Copilot Studio trial license. This is not Copilot license. This is a different product where you can create agents. Okay, it's not a Copilot license. You can see it's a Copilot Studio license. So I have added Copilot Studio trial license. It is there in my environment. Okay. And if a user purchase a license, let's say if you want to try out in your environment, in your organization environment, you can have the trial. Of course, it is available for you, but it will be limited to 30 days only. Okay, Ranveer? So you can try with your organization account to and explore it with for 30 days. But there is no trial license for M365 Copilot. Okay, team? So, team, that was about conditional access policy. Let me quickly show you. I need to log into Entra. Okay, this is my Entra admin center. Here, let me first show you how we can set up the password protection policy. Okay, this is a password protection. Like I have set up the smart lockout threshold for 3, means if user enter wrong password, 3 attempts will be given. After that, account will be locked and the lockout duration will be 120 seconds. Okay, so for that time period, account will be locked. After the time is over, you can user can reattempt. You have you can also enter the custom banned password. Like I have added 2 words that are completely banned. Okay, so user cannot select these 2 words as a password. This was a password protection policy. Next, under user, password reset. So I have enabled self-service password reset enable for all the users. So all my users, they can reset their password, but before they can reset, they need to register. Register means you are trying to reset the password just to make sure you are an authorized users. You have to set up one authentication method, let's say one time passcode. So you need to register with your mobile number, OTP sent to your email. So you need to register with an alternate email so that you can recover your account or you can reset your password. Okay. So first prerequisite, user must be registered and then he can try for resetting the password. Okay. Now let me show you conditional access policy. Okay, so like here, MFA for Copilot users. Okay, this is the policy I'm creating. Select the user who are in the scope of the policy. Let's say I'm selecting Copilot test users. They are in the scope of the policy. Select the target resource. See, I do not have the Copilot license available, so that's why it is not listed. But I will quickly show you for, let's say it is Easy M360, Easy 500 application. Select. You, in your case, can add Copilot. Once it is done, you can also set up other conditions based on device platform, location, or let's say any user risk, sign in risk. Okay. And then finally, grant. Before that, I will quickly show you the device platform. Let's say you have to make sure user cannot use Copilot from Android or from any mobile application. So Mac OS, Linux, Windows Phone. Okay, done. Grant, grant access, require multi-factor authentication and select. Once your policy is created, you can enable the policy. Right now, I'm making it in report only. If you want, you can immediately enable the policy. Okay, so I have set up my condition access policy for all my Copilot users. I hope it is clear to everyone. If you have any question, please let me know. After condition access policy, the next feature is multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication create an extra layer of authentication for the users. Like you might have noticed, when I was setting condition access policy, I have put a condition that user can log in, but my condition is that you should go for multi-factor authentication. Okay, so you can enable MFA for a particular user, or you can apply MFA via condition access policy. All the users who are in a scope will be automatically follow multi-factor authentication. Okay. Another way is that you have a security default feature. Security default feature is generally I recommend to the organization that is newly set up, and they do not have any conditions to start with for the user security. So they can enable security default where MFA will be recommended for all the users. They need to register, and automatically for all the admins, MFA will be forced. Okay, so this will make sure all the privilege identities are secure with multi-factor authentication. When you're working with multi-factor authentication, there are different methods you can explore. For example, with multi-factor authentication, you can have a combination of password and one-time passcode. But this is not a very secure method. Why? Because let's say your password is leaked, and MFA, where you are getting one OTP in your mobile, and team, you know, you have a notification enable in your mobile. So once you get any message, you do not even need to open the mobile and you get the notification that this is what the password or one time passcode. So if I'm attacker, I will just carry your mobile. Okay. I know your password and I can immediately see what is the password on your screen in the notification. So it is not a safe method. Okay, it's good you are having two factor, but let's say that unauthorized person is someone in your family, maybe your friend. He can easily access your mobile, not open, but yes, he can easily access your mobile. So you can do, Microsoft simply says do not trust anyone. Okay, so follow that principle. This method, password and one time passcode, is not considered as a high security method. So for high security, you can go with password less authentication. That is a good way. Or password with two factor authentication. But password with two factor is not very convenient. Let's say in the morning you have started working for your office. Now, initial 5-10 minutes you are spending for password only and for the verification only. You have entered the password, receive one OTP. Third, let's say it's an email OTP. Oh, it is going to take really too much time. Very inconvenient. Of course, it's high secure, but very inconvenient. Another way is using passwordless authentication, means doesn't require any password. Now I'm not afraid of, that my password can be leaked. No, it only required my thumbprint or my face scan. Without my thumbprint and my face scan, login will not be done. It is so easy, so convenient. Many of my account, like I am also a Microsoft certified trainer, so different Microsoft websites I access where MFA is applied. And that is a completely passwordless authentication. Of course, I am using it with my organization account, so I have to enter password, but I can get the notification from my authenticator app. Face scan is done and I'm good to go. So this is very convenient way for authentication, plus it gives you high security. Then self-service password reset. This already I have explained, so I'm not going to repeat it again. Now, team, let's move to another module that is about managing permissions, role, and role group in Microsoft 365 environment. Anyone, any questions so far? Any query? Okay, I will take it as a no. So team, I will keep last 10 minutes for QA. So if you have any questions, you can ask to me. Or by the time you can just type your question. When I will be coming to that screen, I will address that questions. Okay, so team, when you are setting up environment for Copilot, you have to make sure right person is having right access for the right resources to manage it. Okay, so for that here in Entra, in your M365 environment, you have inbuilt role available. Every role comes with some responsibility and permissions. Now, when you assign any role, you can keep it limited to directory level or to the management group level. Let's say you have different groups. Let's say in my organization, we are working in different cities, different states: Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Hyderabad. So I can keep this role limited to a particular city. Let's say keep it limited to only Mumbai users. Keep it limited to, let's say I have one admin, admin A, who is going to take care for the users who are working for Mumbai. So he will be administrator for Mumbai city. Admin 2, he will take care for Delhi. Admin 3 for Hyderabad. Admin 4 for Chennai, and so on. So first pick the role and then define the scope. Is it for entire directory or for any group? Now, when you are assigning the role, there are two ways. You can assign the assign the role directly to the user, or there is an indirect way. Indirect way, You are not assigning the role directly to the user, but assigning the role to a group. Let's say user administrator group, AI administrator group, and assigning the license. I will just add and remove the users just like I was doing with my licenses. Team, just give me a minute. Let me connect with the charger. Okay, sorry, team. Yeah, so I was talking about the role. Now let me take you to Entra. I'm back to Entra, and here you have role and admins. So you will notice already I have different roles available. Now, before working to roles, let me just create a group quickly, a new group, security group. The group name is Copilot admins. Entra role can be assigned. Yes. Members, Adley, Alex, Anand. One owner, admin. Now select the role. So these all are the roles available. So I'm looking for AI administrator. AI administrator can manage all aspect of M365 Copilot, AI related enterprise service in M365 environment. Select. With this role, you have two more role available that is for AI administrator, sorry, agent ID administrator and agent ID developer. Okay. So agent ID administrators, they would be able to manage all agent related aspect. For example, agent identities, agent users, managing agent identity lifecycle that can manage. Agent ID developer, it means they are responsible for creating agents. They will be creating owner of agent blueprint. Right now, as we are only looking for M365 scenario, so I will select AI administrator. Now, all the users who are in the scope of this group would be able to manage M365 Copilot in your environment. Create. It says that once you assign any role to the group, it cannot be changed later. Yes. Done. Now I will show you permissions assigned. AI administrator. Select. This is built-in role. Under description, see, these are the permissions you have just assigned. The person can read all the property of the users, create and manage setting of M365 Copilot, right? Can create and manage M365 services, read owner of applications, policies, So all AI related environment can be managed by this administrator group. Okay. Now you have an option if you want to create any custom role. Let's say with AI administrator, there are so many permissions you are assigning, a very highly privileged role. But any specific, let's say only read permissions, only create permission. So you can customize that by setting up new role and only pick the permission you want to pick for that particular role. Done. So you have successfully assigned this role to your organization admins. Let me show you the group. These are the Copilot admins and this is Copilot test user you have initially created. Copilot admins, assigned role. Now you will notice the role is assigned uh, members. So these are the three members. So you have assigned the role to this group that is called direct membership and the scope is directory. This means direct membership to this group. But if I check for the members that are Adley, Alex and Anand, for them it will be a indirect assignment. It was Anand. For Anand, assigned role here. Can you see that? Assigned role for Anand is a directory level scope and the membership is group. Means this role is not assigned to him directly because he is a member of a group. So automatically the permissions are assigned to him. Okay, team. I hope it is clear how role assignment works, how to assign the role to the group or to the user directly. Okay. Now on the another hand, let's say I have one user, Joni. I want to assign her the same role. I will go to assign. This is called direct. Let me click on add. Role is AI administrator. Next, assign. This is called direct assignment. Refresh. Can you see that? So for Joni, it's a direct membership. But for another user, like another role, it is a group membership. This is called group membership and direct. Group means you are assigning the role to the group, not the user, just adding or removing the user from the group. Second way is a direct assigning the role to the grouper, to the user. And scope is right now limited to, it's for entire directory, but you can make it limited to the administrative units, like make a unit of Mumbai users, make a unit of Delhi users, and so on. Okay, so team, you can explore the list of users, the list of role which is already available in your Entra environment. Okay, like you have global administrator role, security administrator role. Okay, you have compliance administrator role, teams administrator role, and exchange administrator role. So these are very special roles, and the specific permissions are there in this role group. For example, as a SharePoint administrator, he can manage all, SharePoint environment, Teams administrator, security administrator. These all are the admin roles that you can assign to manage the environment. Now coming to administrative unit I was talking about. So as I said, when you are assigning any role, you can set the scope. It's a directory or it's a AU, administrative unit level. Right now, the role we have assigned, the scope was direct to the directory. Okay, means as a AI administrator, Joni can manage all the users in this Entra. But let's say I have administrative unit also created. Like I have Mumbai unit, marketing department wise, you can create unit. So let's say I will click on Mumbai BU and I have roles and administrators. So I will select, let's say AI administrator role. Sorry, I will select user administrator or no, better. I will add password administrator. So password administrator is going to manage the password of these AU. Add assignment. Select Anand and assign. So now look into the scope. Go back to Mumbai administrative unit. Under groups and users or role and administrators, we have assigned the role to one of our users. Now let's go to Anand, assigned role. So here you can see the scope. AI administrator, it is for entire directory, but password administrator role is limited to this Mumbai unit only. Means Anand can manage the password limited to this directory. Let's say there are 10 users. So Anand can manage password for these two users, these 10 users only. This is called setting up the scope, making broad, directly level or limited to a administrative unit. Okay, so it's a best approach. Assigning the privilege role, let's say password administrator is a very sensitive role, user administrator is a very sensitive roles. So you can keep it limited to a administrative unit. These units can be created as per departments, as per location, as per project you are handling in the organization. Okay, I hope it is clear to everyone how the scope can be set by using directory level or administrative units. See, there is one more very important feature in Entra that is called privilege identity management. Now, let's say you are assigning some roles, managing some roles that are a very highly privileged role. So basically, the users you are assigning these roles are become privileged users, right? So you have to make sure that these identities are secured because these are privileged users. So in Entra, there is an inbuilt tool available, but that comes for E5 licenses only. It's a premium feature. So if user are assigned E5 license, this Entra privilege identity management will protect that users. So this tool prevent user from any identity related risk. Let's say user risk, sign in risk. Okay, to team, now here you have to help me. What do you think? What type of risk a user may face? If you are a privileged user, let's say you are an admin, so what are the risks you may face? Can you give me a few points here? Yes, team, quickly respond. Okay, one risk, I'm giving you one hint. Let's say your password is compromised. That may be the risk, correct? Any other risk? Okay. For example, let's take it as a sign in risk. For example, you are working in a 9 to 5 shift or 9 to 6 or max to max. Let's say you are working late, maybe morning, night, 9 to 10, 11, 12 max to max, right? But midnight, 3 a.m., is it a usual time? Yes or no? Is it a usual time? You are continuously working now, it's 4 year. Your sign in is done from morning 9 to 12 o'clock, let's say at night, late night. Never 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 1 a.m., never ever it happened. It means this is something suspicious. Okay, this is not a usual activity. Or for example, I'm working from Mumbai city, right? So my sign in is logged Mumbai location. This is the IP address and this is the timing. But just after 10 minutes, do you, Himanshu, do you see Teams? Yes, Himanshu, the team is open because I'm just looking who is replying or who is giving me thumbs up and all. Okay. So now let's say my sign in is done in the morning 9 o'clock. Just after 10 minutes, my admin noticed that Komal sign in is done from another country. Is it a usual activity? Without informing my company, can I travel to any unknown location? No, right? And it is not possible actually. It is impossible. That is called impossible travel. Okay? Or that is called from unknown location. User doesn't belong from that city or from country, but his sign in is done. It means this is kind of an unusual activity or suspicious sign in. Okay, so for these type of risk, you have privilege identity management because for admin it is not possible to be available 24 by 7, right? So privilege identity management automatically take care of this issue. Okay, and we'll check if you are really an authorized user. Maybe because of some emergency situations you have to move to another city or maybe you are traveling to another country. So maybe like your sign is done from different country. So you need to prove again zero trust. You need to prove that bhai I'm an authorized user. Do not block me. So Microsoft Entra Privilege Identity Management take care of this and will see is it any attacker, any unauthorized user, or you are a employee of the organization. So it is a usual, like this is what your general reason behind the scene and you are trying to log in or maybe you have traveled to another country. So this is going to allow user, but with some condition. So Entra Privilege Identity Management, it will, this policy you will set, it says, okay, so Komal, you are an authorized user, now you have to prove. Okay, how can I prove? So it will say you have to change your password. You have to reset your password. So if you are an authorized user, you are a registered user, you can easily set up the password. Okay, because you have registered some mobile number or email, so you can quickly reset, or maybe it can ask you to go for multi-factor authentication. Okay, I will give you one example. This is my story, actually, real story. So I was generally working that time for US shift. So I was working, I'm talking about India time. It was afternoon 2 o'clock up to night around 11:30 or 12. This was my working time. So I was not able to do some bank transaction. Let's say I have to make some payment to or like to someone. So during daytime, I was not able to do so. Or I was so busy, I was occupied. I was forgetting the things. So one day, what happened? At 12 o'clock around, my work was over, and suddenly I just remembered, okay, I have to make some payment. So that was actually, I was trying to make payment to tuition sir, my son's tuition sir. I had to make the payment, and it was night 1 a.m. I remember, and I was trying to make the payment, but I noticed that transaction was not successful. I was using GPay that time, so it was not successful. And next day morning, when I tried again, no, it was not successful. But I checked my email that is associated to my bank account, and I checked, okay, I got one email that your account is locked. Okay, I was shocked. My account is locked. Why? So I got that email. There was description that because there was some unusual activity done with your account, so your account is blocked. And I was like, what happened? And I use this account. I am using it from last many years, more than 10 years. Never have it happen. So I called to branch manager and I said, this is what happened. So they said, okay, ma'am, just give me some time. I will come back to you. So he called. He said, ma'am, from your account, some suspicious activity was done. So मैंने कहा suspicious activity? No, there is no suspicious activity done. He said that something unusual you have done. I said, I just tried to make some payment night around 1 a.m. So he said, ma'am, that is a issue because from last 10 years, you have never ever tried to make any payment during this time. So now as uh, because of the security policies and all, we are making sure that all the transactions are safe and secure. So that's why this strictness is applied. And because of the unusual timing of the transaction, your account is blocked. Okay, so what I have to do? So they told me that Komal, you have to now you have to come to the branch and you have to manually visit, and then we can unblock. Okay, so that's what happened with me. So the same is there. So as I was a bank customer, I had to visit to branch. So this was kind of a inconvenient for me. Okay, so basically the convenient way was that though I have not tried to make any payment in such time, but let's say if something happens, okay, that was just the tuition fee payment, okay, no problem. But let's say there was some emergency situation, and that time I have to make some payment and my account is locked, so I will be really like pissed, right? So to come up from these kind of a situation, this intra privilege identity management, this is a tool that can help. For example, employees who are, let's say, traveling to another country, or they really have to do or work or in any unusual timing, and they are trying to access their account. So if their account will be blocked, how they will be able to work? So that's why this is a privilege identity management tool that automatically take care if there is any risk, is immediately, create some alert and make sure that is it really an authorized user or any attacker, and trying to manage these kind of a risk automatically without even intervention of any admins. Okay, so this is really a very good tool managing any identity related risk. I will just quickly show you how to set up these kind of a policy. I'm back in Entra Admin Center. Under identity protection, you have dashboard, that is Entra Identity Protection. Here you have a user risk policy and sign in risk. Now Microsoft is migrating this identity protection policies with conditional access. Okay, so in conditional access only you will get the option to manage user risk and sign in risk. For example, there is a user risk. If user is in the scope of policy, If any risk is found, medium or high, user will be asked to change the password. If he successfully managed to change the password, his account will be login. Sign in any user who comes in the scope of the policy. If there is any medium or high risk, user require multi-factor authentication. Okay, this is going to make sure all the authorized user doesn't face any issue and should be able to log in successfully. So team, now let's move to our next module, that is deploying M365 application for enterprise. So team, as I said, as a prerequisite for Copilot, make sure you have all the updated applications. So you can access Copilot from desktop application or from web application. Let me show you. Like with my organization account, I have Copilot license. So let's say I have open Outlook. This is my Outlook. Here I have Copilot icon at the extreme left hand side. So this is my desktop application. Okay. Once I clicked on Copilot, this is what Copilot I can access right in my Outlook. Same way for Teams. Yeah, this is my Teams screen. And here I have Copilot icon. So for both my Teams, Outlook, I can see Copilot, not only limited to Teams and Outlook. If I open Word application, let's say it's a new application, I can use Copilot. Let's say if I ask prepare content on M365 agents. So team, I'm able to use Copilot capability from all my desktop application. Okay. I can open OneDrive. I can open Excel, PowerPoint. So I have this Copilot icon available. But make sure all users have updated application. Okay. So from admin side, you need to manage that how you are making sure or deploying these applications to all the users, or let users can do the self service. They can download these applications themselves. Okay, so here I have just given you a quick demo how Copilot works in the desktop application. Same way, if I open, happen, open the browser. Let's say I will open in private window. And now I'm going to access Copilot on web. Log in with your account where you have Copilot license. So with my Synergetic account, I have Copilot license assigned. So here I'm using Copilot on web. This is Copilot chat. Let me open other application. Let's say I have open OneDrive. So here in OneDrive, I have this Copilot icon available and I can use Copilot capability. Let's say here I'm asking Copilot to summarize a file. For example, let's open. So these are the two files. Now it is selected here automatically. And now I want Copilot to compare these files. So I'm able to use Copilot both from my desktop and from my web application. Now, from organization admin point of view, you need to make sure that all users are able to do so. They are able to use Copilot from the both the places. So how we can do that? That's what we are going to discuss now. So team, it's all depend about the M365 application availability. So as a admin, you have an option to set up a complete self-service installation for enterprise application that let user download these application and set it up for all the desktop. Okay. Or another option is that as a admin, you can deploy M365 application for enterprise with configuration manager. Configuration manager, it allow organization to centrally deploy, update, or manage these application on user device. It prepare your office sources file and use the office customization tool where as a admin you can define application, update channel, languages and other setting. You can create the application in configuration manager, right? You can deploy installation file to the distribution point so that devices can download them locally. You can select the target collection like who are the user in the scope, devices in the scope, can also control installation behavior. Configuration management can also control office update instead of users. And one more method you have, that is to deploy these applications from the cloud. Okay, means you have office deployment tool, you need to download that and make sure you have selected the pilot group you want to assign the license for. Okay, and deploy these application to this pilot group. That is what the cloud way of managing it. Then you can also deploy it from a local source. Okay, local source deployment method, it install M365 application from on-prem file server, or if you have a local server, instead of downloading it directly from the internet. Okay, so admins download Office installation file using Office deployment tool, and files are stored in local network. Okay, so you can use this method if you have limited or restricted internet access, or there is some bandwidth constraint, or you want to work in a secure or totally isolated network. Here you have full control over installation files and network traffic. Okay, so team, these are the different ways where you can manage the installation. So it's up to you how you are managing. I have given you all the ways. Okay, just make sure to be Copilot app ready. You must be having all the updated application deployed to each and every user's machine. Okay, else they would not be able to access Copilot capability in desktop. Okay, I hope it is clear to everyone. Now there is a dedicated platform where you can manage applications and devices. That is called Microsoft Intune. Microsoft Intune is a admin center, or you can say it's a tool that is used to manage all the devices and applications. So as a Intune administrator, you can explore Intune admin center, or you can explore Intune and you can manage the application and devices. Let me take you to Intune. Close this. So I will go to Intune. Okay, so here let's go to devices, endpoint security, security baseline. Under security baseline, these are the security baseline that you can set up. These are the settings that are based on feedback from Microsoft security engineer team, product group, partners, and customers. These settings are deployed to selected group of devices, right? Mentioning how this process is useful when you want to apply the baseline to all the devices within any particular department or function, or selected group of users. Okay, so that mention how process ensure that any device used by these users follow the security guidelines. So you can optionally exclude any specific group from the assigned baseline. For example, let me show you security baseline for Windows 10 and later. See, I have already set up this baseline. Quickly show you this policy. Like here, this is the name, description, and the assigned group. So this is basically assigned to all the users who are working with Windows 10 and above. I have not excluded any group, but if you wish to exclude any group, not should not be there in the scope of the policy. And these are some configuration setting that is about the browser usage in that device, right? And like for example, do you want to allow password manager, smart screen, data protection, defender related setting? So these are the basically guidelines, the baseline of security that you apply to a group of devices or to the group of users. So team, now let's move ahead to compliance part. So under compliance part, we have Microsoft Data Loss Prevention Policy. So DLP, this is a policy that you can set up to make sure that all the informations are totally secure, right? And it is not shared to any unauthorized person or not to any outside your organization if you wish to. Okay. But before you are going to actually work with data loss prevention, make sure you have already done the prerequisite. What are the prerequisite? Prerequisite means you have to properly classify your data. You have to make the category of the data. It's not that all the information need protection. There are some sensitive information. There are some very high confidential information that you need to secure. So first, give a priority to your data. That this is my priority data. Make a category of it. Like I will make a category of my data that comes under, let's say, sensitive data. Let's say employee number, any credit card number, personal identity number. Okay, you can then apply the policies. You can auto apply the policies, and automatically whenever these kind of information is included via email communication file, automatically the label will be applied. Now you can use this label or classify information in your DLP policies. Then you can take the action that if there is some sensitive information, sensitive label applied, the information should not be shared to outsider or should be restricted to unauthorized users. When any user violate the policy, admin will be triggered. You will get an alert. So you can monitor the outcome, you can monitor the policy, you can investigate the alert. Okay, now let me show you that. So I need to go to Compliance Center, Microsoft Purview. So team, when you are working with information protection, your journey start with know your data. The stages, know your data. So here you have solutions, that is information protection. Okay, so your data lifecycle management. Your data lifecycle is start from the time when your data is created. Okay, so you need to first start by looking into the data, whether it is required to be protected or not. So you have classifier. Under classifier, like you have sensitive information type. So here you have already some built-in sensitive information type like all full name, IP address, and if you search for India, let's say, okay, so all India uh, sensitive information like PAN number, Aadhaar card number, voter ID. This is called like personal identification information. Then let's say it's about credit card, okay, or let's say you can create any custom sensitive information type. You can customize it. For example, employee number. So I have created it. Let's say Contoso employee ID. So I have created it and customize it. So all my employee IDs, if it is shared in bulk or shared in unusual conditions, it will be considered as sensitive. Same way you have sensitive labels. You can set up the policies for the sensitive labels and for retention labels. So let me go to not now. Okay, so you have trainable classifier, sensitive information type, and sensitive label. Once it is created, now you are go to create the data loss prevention policies. So let's go to policies. For example, I'm going to create a policy. Select a custom policy. Let's say it's a Copilot test policy. Now here I am going to create a policy that will make sure that if any user asking any prompt, any question about employee IDs, so Copilot should not process that prompt. Okay. So as employee ID will be considered as a sensitive information, let's say anyone who is looking for all the details related to my employee ID. No, another person should not be having that information, right? So Copilot should not be providing any information about it. Next. Now where you want to apply the policy. So I want to apply it to M365 Copilot. So I will turn on this location. Next, I will create the DLP rule, create rule. Now the condition. Condition says that if any content contain any sensitive information or sensitive label, you can put any of these two in the scope. Let's say sensitive information type. So let's say I will select employee ID, Contoso employee ID, add. Another condition you can pick if content contain any sensitive information type, let's say credit card number and all, you can add it. Right now I'm okay with one condition. Now, user action, restrict Copilot from processing content. This will make sure the prompt will not be processed or it will not performing any web search. Totally block. If something happens, it should send alert to admins when any rule match occurs. Means admin will be notified that this employee is trying to get some information about other employees' ID. Done and save. Next, do you want to run the policy in a simulation mode? Simulation means it is not actually going to have any impact on the user, but you can test it. Okay, the data will not be affected, but you can see the impact. Turn on the policy immediately. Next, and submit. Okay, done everyone. So when any suspicious activity will be done, admin will get an alert here. I don't have any trigger right now, any alert. No data available. So there is no policy that is violated. So that's why there is no alert triggered. Okay, so team, that was all about this session, and I have covered all the topics. Okay, so that's it from my side. If you have any query, any question, please let me know. How to align Copilot with other application? Okay, so you do not need to manually assign or alignment to be done for Copilot. You just need to assign the license. Okay, once license is assigned, automatically you will notice the Copilot will be available for your users. Let's say here I have this Copilot icon, or I can see this is the icon for Copilot available. Okay, it is just depend on your license. The time it is assigned, user would be able to explore Copilot. Okay. Yes, Ranveer, you are right. M365 Copilot is not at all complex. You do not have to do any additional setup. As I said, just assign the license and user can start exploring and working with Copilot. And even without license, Microsoft provide you Copilot as a complimentary license to you. Only the thing you need to know is that how to wisely use Copilot. What are the different features available in Copilot? For example, when you open Copilot, like this one is open, here you have different conversations that is saved, so you can go back to the previous conversation anytime. There are some pre-built agent available, so you can let your user know about these agents. Okay, how to wisely use these agents, how to add these agents, how to save the prompt. You can save the prompts, right? And you can add any content, upload any image file, add any file which is there in your OneDrive, and ask Copilot to summarize it. You can use Copilot to set up the meetings for any particular day or timing. Copilot can read your calendar. So it is like how you can use Copilot capability. Okay. So one more thing, like you can also schedule the prompt. If you have Copilot license, you can try that every day evening 5 o'clock if you want to run the prompt automatically, so you can schedule that. So these are some features that your end user need to know. So as I said, when you are deploying Copilot, there are four phases. where you are making everyone ready for the Copilot, providing different trainings program, let them know how to use Copilot, what are the features available, get the proper feedback, make that user share that experience to other users. So as an admin, you have to take care of these phases wisely and make sure the adoption is totally smooth and secure. Okay, so thank you so much, team, for attending this session. I hope I could give you this information about Copilot, the compliance part. So we have discussed how you can secure M365 Copilot, right? As an organization, how you can adopt AI with the tool M365 Copilot. As an admin, what are your responsibility? What are the tools you can use to set up a secure environment? As I said initially, Copilot is not just what Copilot can do. It's about how securely we can use it. Okay. So we have focused on data, on trust, data protection, and governance part because AI is only as secure as data and there is a control behind it. Okay. So, team, bye bye. Take care, everyone. Yes, Ranveer, behind the scene, there is no coding and all. Just if you want to extend Copilot capability, want to build your custom agents in Copilot Studio, then you need to know some basic understanding about coding and all because uh, it's a low code and no code environment. But if you have a developer capability, you can extend that limit to, very high level of agent you can create. Yeah, Shrima, just give me a minute. I'm giving you some links.
Guys, till the time, please don't forget to fill the feedback form if you like the session.
Team, there is an applied skill for this course. So please go through this course link. So you have all the modules mentioned. Okay. So once complete, you can also do the assessment. Right now, this assessment is under maintenance. So you can try after some time. Once you complete this assessment, you will be getting a certificate for this applied skill. One more link I'm sharing. 36 MS. There is one more link, AB 900. This is again for administrator. If you want to become AI administrator, you can go through this course. This course is for beginners. And once you complete this course, you can register for this exam. And this is for once you clear it, you get a certificate that is valid for 1 year. Okay. And that you can renew every year. So this is really a very good course for M365 Copilot administration and agent administration. This is Copilot Success Kit, Copilot Adoption Kit. This is again for administrator. You can have a look. You will get different resources over there. Okay, like your how you can do user enablement, Copilot chat and overview, different scenarios, technical readiness. So, and this is about the implementation. All the important links are available. Okay. So once again, thank you so much.